Welcome to the walkthrough of frequently made mistakes that I encountered when I reviewed your assignment 1B submissions. First, please do not remove the to-do comments. That makes it harder for me to review the code. It makes it harder for us to grade the code. If you remove the to-do comments, henceforth, your code will not be reviewed, nor will it be graded. Secondly, please make sure you run the unit tests. Those tests are there to catch problems with your implementation, and it'll save you and us a lot of time if you can run the tests and then fix the problems before you submit your assignment for review or for grading. Third, make sure you document your code line by line. It doesn't do enough just to have the comments ahead of it in the block of code that does the stream. You need to document the code line by line. And of course, you can reuse what's already there, but that's a very important habit to get into when you write streams code. Also, the parallel streams crawler implementation is almost identical to the sequential streams crawler implementation. The main difference being using parallel stream versus sequential stream, or stream rather, when you create the stream. So as a result, I just reviewed the sequential stream crawler.java code, and I didn't bother doing it for the parallel stream crawler code. So make sure that as you're reviewing my comments, wherever I note that you have to improve things with your sequential stream crawler implementation, make sure that you go ahead and apply that fix to your parallel stream crawler implementation as well. So now that we've got some of this out of the way, let's go ahead and actually look at some of the frequently made mistakes that I found. So here's perform crawl. Please make sure to chain all the stream operations together in a single pipeline. That's the way you write streams code. You don't really need to have these local variables. So just get in the habit of doing it as a stream or as a pipeline. Let's take a look at crawl page. So in this case, make sure that you use method references instead of lambda expressions. Whenever possible, this is a good case where it's possible. Please make sure to use objects non-null as your filter, as opposed to writing it out longhand, as is done here. And also, for the purposes of assignment 1B, please use map here, not map to int. That's actually something we're going to fix in assignment 2A that'll be out soon. But for 1B, the auto grader expects to see map, not map to int, so you'll lose points unnecessarily there if you use map to int. Let's take a look at process page. Once again, please make sure to chain all the stream operations together into a single pipeline. Not like it's done here. You don't need to have a local variable called element list. Make sure that for the sequential streams implementation, you use stream, not parallel stream. Of course, you should use parallel stream for the parallel streams implementation, but don't use parallel stream for the sequential one. This code is confusing because the comment says it converts the list to a sequential stream, and then it goes ahead and uses parallel stream, which is obviously incorrect. This would also be flagged, or should be flagged, by the auto grader, so make sure you run that. You don't need to use an if-else statement, or you don't need to use a switch statement inside of map to int here. Instead, you should be using the ternary operator, which is the $:colon operator, which is something that's part of Java, C, C++, and so on. And it's just more concise than using the more verbose if-else statement, which requires curly braces and other things that are a bit awkward to type and read. Let's go and look at process image. Once again, please get in the habit of using a method reference instead of a lambda expression. Once again, please use objects non-null as your filter predicate rather than writing it out longhand as is done here. And also, once again, please use a method reference rather than using the lambda expression. Continuing on with issues I detected with process image during my review. I'm not sure what happened here, but this is not the actual specification. It's part of the 1B skeleton. So I'm not sure how this got in the code, but it's wrong. And so, of course, the implementation below is incorrect. So make sure you're using the right specification from assignment 1B for implementing process image. Looking at this from a nuts and bolts point of view, once again, please make sure you chain all the stream operations together into a single pipeline. You don't need to have a local variable. You don't need to have this if statement checked. Everything should be done in one continuous stream. And then this code down here just makes no sense because that's not the right code to have at this point in the implementation for process image. Once again, please make sure that you run the unit tests. That should have detected this problem and flagged an error. If it didn't, let us know, but I'm pretty sure it would have if you'd run the unit tests and looked at the output. And then finally, the last problem here is in transform image locally. You don't need to have this null check here because that should never have gotten this far if things were null. And down here, even though this code will work, the tests expect to see filter followed by map, just because it's a little bit more readable. So we're trying to focus on readability here. So please use filter followed by map. And once again, if you run the unit test, it should flag this and indicate that you need to do it a different way. So that's the end of the discussion of the frequently made mistakes that I detected during my walkthrough of everybody's submission. If you didn't submit things properly, you won't get a review, but you can always go through and watch this video and see what is most likely to be problems that you may have had. So please make sure that you address all these issues. Also, these kinds of issues tend to show up in quizzes, so make sure that you're aware of the problems and the solutions to these problems in order to prepare for the next quiz.